Hi, hello, P. Walker's Crisps here, and I'm just going to talk about. Hi, hello, P. Walker's Crisps here, and I'm just going to talk about what went into my video, uh, the thoughts I had while making the video, and what led to the decisions I made. And for this video, I won't really be making. In fact, I don't think I'll be making any cuts at all. Just go through this, talk about what I did, and that's all I do. Wait, what? This is not right. Hi, hello, Hi, hello, P. Walker's Crisps here, and I'd just like to talk about the video I made, more of a behind the scenes video on the decisions that I made, and I'll explain some things that might have not made some sense. And as for this video, I won't really be making any edits or cuts or whatever, so let's just get right into it. As for what this user responded with, Looper, they pretty much just responded with guns. That's their whole personality, I guess. And also, one thing that you may notice is that I have a better microphone compared to what's been played right here. And the only reason why there's a difference is because I've, got a new microphone. And I couldn't really wait to make this one, as there was a slight timing issue. So as for that intro, I didn't really have that. Well, I had a lot more clips right here. Just a few clips. Now, I could have added more into the intro, but I was quite limited by the music that I was playing right here, and also I just couldn't really be bothered to edit it all together. However, this next clip may seem a bit contrary because, well, I had to track the mouse, which was stupid in of itself. And as for editing again, there's this whole section right here. This member here is Roy G. Biv, and they used to be in the server, but, well, they were literally one of the first characters I made, but whilst I was, making the game, or prototypes or whatever, they pretty much left the server just to focus on their university studies. Problem I've noticed in this bit is that I was supposed to say add the movement script and the rigid body, but it sounds like and the movement script and the rigid body, but I don't know. It's all complicated, I guess. When I was editing this, I had entirely forgotten to listen to the audio and read the script, because when I was recording the audio, I did make a few changes for better or worse, I guess, but I just made some mistakes, really. As with this scene right here, it took me like 20 minutes just to make it, and it's only a 5-second scene. And another problem right here is, the heart shape here, it doesn't even fit. I was in a bit of a rush that I just didn't even notice. As for this bit here, where I moving the guy that's shooting the gun, I just put it all in there. I hadn't intended to accidentally perfectly time it with his falling right here. Now, I would have actually said this, but I wasn't really sure if the YouTube algorithm would, destroy me because of it. And I'm probably better off without saying it. And here's another instance of me just straight up forgetting to edit out some voice clips or just not do something properly. How I managed to get this in a recreation is pretty much I had to find the actual video, load it, and then normally sometimes YouTube just makes a mix on it on the suggested pages, so that's it here, and that's why it suggests the other two videos for me to watch. As for the video that's on the side here, that's wait for it. That's pretty much just Counter 3 by the Chalk Eaters, and I thought I may as well put that there because it would have been, funny. And this took me like a few minutes or so just to get right, because I wanted to get the text somewhat aligned onto the tombstone. But we can probably tell what that means. I didn't really know what to put in for this section here, so I just looked at the meme section of the Discord, and it just came up with this. I mean, admittedly it's quite funny, and I had to put in the London bit on my own. And yes, this bit here is very much true. Whilst I was trying to record this, I just loved doing it fists only, and I only did it on the third level because I didn't really want a challenge, but I didn't really want it to be too easy. And as for me playing Ultra Kill, it's a really fun game. You should play it. I mean, you've probably seen many videos of it by now. And as for this bit right here, I just found some icon of V1, some image of V1 on the internet. Just put it in the photo editing program, a circle and a gradient, and it was quite easy to do. Although it just feels a bit off to me. Maybe it's because of, how quick everything was. I don't know. Now right here, I really don't know why I emphasized the based. Like, seriously. I feel like it was a bit unnecessary. But let's just move on. And right here, this was quite a bit of a sneak peek for what was to come. As for this bit here, I don't think I've explained it that well, but initially whilst I was prototyping everything, I used to use the hitboxes in front of characters just to get some kind of ranged attack, but really it was just a bigger version of a primary attack, and it wasn't really that special really. Although it would have allowed for some kind of piercing attacks or hit scan, I don't know. Hit scan would have probably been better with raycasts. I've watched this little bit here a few times, and just to emphasise the joke of drawing it, I kind of wish that I had the colour palette fully in screen rather than slightly off the screen. And as for this left bit here, I pretty much had to create a new object, find the specific things and bring it all together, and that's about all it was. However, I did have to constrain its position and rotations and turn the box collider into a trigger. As for the left bit here, it's pretty much me deleting the whole script but reversed. That's all it is. As for what was happening on the left here, I completely forgot to put on the cooldown, so that happened, but I may as well think, let's just dick around with it. Oh, slightly missed it, but this here is another one of its attacks, where it's all raining down on the person in front of you, and this down on the bottom, it wasn't originally meant to be some kind of saw blade that goes towards the direction that you originally spawned it at. However, it's now some kind of healing ring that goes around you. As for this section here, I just literally couldn't explain jump buffering, so I had to get the definition of it and get someone else's video. But I hope that has explained it a lot better than what I could. I don't think that's what it was initially, but it looked like it could be the problem, but that clip definitely wasn't. It was a different problem that I made for myself, so just ignore that, I guess. As for why I decided to move to character controllers, it was mainly because it had a much better detection system of if you were on ground or not. And as for why I wanted to put the Celeste mechanics into the game, I don't know, but I think one of the main reasons is just because I've really liked Celeste, and its movement system is just so great. As for what I've got here, it's pretty much one of my previous videos on the YouTube channel where I just speedrun Celeste. And through this I found out that I spent half my run just on the final 2 chapters. I think it was, no, final 3 or 2 chapters, either one of those. Now there's much more stupid random stuff that you can do in Celeste, but I just really couldn't think of any on the spot. Admittedly, I can do hyper dashing and wave dashing quite consistently. I just don't know where I was coming from here. Initially, I was gonna get a gif of Madeline just moving left and right. However, I could only find gifs of her just idling, so I had to go to my speedrun thingy again and just get the beginning. Now, for this upcoming project, it's pretty much a project talking about Celeste's music, its gameplay, and its story. Maybe something. Oh yeah, maybe it's art, but I don't know if I'm gonna do that. Now I've been working on the first one of the music for like a year or so. Most of it is procrastination, but I think I've got a decent amount of it done. I just need to get a few music tracks done with, and Farewell and the C-sides. No, Farewell and the B-sides. I'm not sure if I should put them into 2 separate videos or one whole video. I'd like to put it into one whole video. As for this section here, I was gonna put like 4 different games in, one on each corner of the screen, but I just really couldn't be bothered. Like on one corner it was probably gonna be Super Meat Boy, on another it was probably gonna be Rockman or Mega Man, whatever you call it, and another Sonic, and on the final corner it would be Mario. But I just never got around to doing that because the YouTube to MP4 downloaders were just being slow for me. And yeah, I am right here. Jumping and gravity is pretty complex. Although I wouldn't say so. Well, yeah, it is decently complex. As for its movement, it's just some acceleration here until you get to this point. I don't know. And when I was listening to this and reading the script, the first thing that came to my mind is literally chapter 5 of Celeste, the bit where you, I don't know, get into the nightmare, whatever you call it. Well, this here can work to an extent, but it's just not that great, really. I made this whole program or whatever just to make a stupid joke. I haven't really used Visual Studio Code in a while, but yeah, that's why. That's just what happens. Now, at this point of time, I still don't really understand the Celeste source code or whatever, but I do have a somewhat decent grasp on its movement. And yeah, this here is the exact tutorial that I watched, and it just felt really sharp, unlike Celeste's, where it was, well, gradual increase. Now, with this here, I just forgot to put a clip of me having really bad gravity on jumping or whatever. It took me like a day or two to find this GitHub repository because I just wasn't using the proper key terms, but I don't know. Like, the approach function is used everywhere, but since the Celeste devs, Noel Berry, only published the player script instead of all the other calculations or the methods that are used in the game, I can't really find the approach script or the calc. I mean, it says that it gets its approach from the calc script. And I don't think you could see it properly, but there was a bit of text here saying recent in terms of a tweet, and I don't think a lot of people really caught that. I mean, with this, I just did not expect to see it. I thought it was some kind of thing that was, I don't know. I thought it was something that is in some kind of, sorry, let me just get my words. I thought it was in some kind of package that the developers got, and I was trying to find that, but I just found the tweet so much better. Well, this here is just some kind of generic script that you can find on the Unity website for the character controllers, just in case you want to use character controllers instead of rigid bodies, which I was. And yeah, that is very much true, because just yesterday I was trying to get more of the Celeste stuff into my game, and it just didn't work. Don't know why. I just couldn't jump or sometimes couldn't move side to side. And yeah, that's pretty much a pun in of itself. I don't know why I did that. I guess it was just to fill in the white space that was here. And I'm just going to skip this whole section here, because why not? I'd just like to talk about the multiplayer. The multiplayer is complex. I'm still trying to grasp my head around it, but I will get there eventually. At the moment, I'm just trying to get it so that the movement script synchronizes across devices, so that you can, see the other player moving on your side of the screen. And it would be quite easy just to make it so that the client has the privileges to change the change your position. However, hackers could easily mess that up for me, so I have to use some kind of RPC thing where you ask the server if you can do this, the server calculates it and gives you back the response. And when I say server, it's pretty much going to be the other person that you're going to be fighting with in the game. And I'm not sure if I want to do dedicated servers for this game, if possible. I don't know how I would even do it. As for the more characters and the character select screen, I've finished that. I just need to make it work with a multiplayer, because at the moment it only works for single player. Although with the two other characters that I've just created, I do need to get their attacks working some way or another. Now, I do have a Steam store page set up and everything. However, let me just find it. Yeah, this is the game that I've got here. But I just haven't really published it for the public yet. And I'll only do that when I've got a proper name for the game, because I'm not sure if I want to be with ship sinkers and proper graphics and an art style that I've figured out, because I'm not sure if I want to have an art style like this one right here. And I've still forgot about them at the moment. And yeah, this is pretty much a correction. I'd like to do it every month or 2 months or 3 months, but I'd like to also do it at my own pace, because one month I might be doing something and the next month I might be doing tons of things. It's just that some workloads are bigger than others, and I don't really want to have a pressure of doing a devlog every month, because there would be less time going towards the game. Because whilst I was making the 2-week period that I was making this whole thing, I didn't touch or edit my game at all. And if I make a devlog every month, half of the month is going to be dedicated towards making a devlog like this, and it might get more complicated or less complicated. I don't know what's going to be happening. And yeah, I might also not have anything interesting to say. Although most months, heck, most devlogs, I will have something interesting to say. As for what I said, there is quite a lot of things to do, because I'm just being a single developer. No one else is helping me. However, I do have some people helping me with the characters and their concepts. At the moment, I'm just trying to get those concepts into code, into, however I would like to imagine it. And this is the behind the scenes video that I was talking about here. And if you are in fact watching this on Patreon, thank you very much for, well, subscribing to my Patreon. And if you're watching this on YouTube, thank you for patiently waiting. But please do become a patron of mine, just so that you can get more of this early access content. Heck, there might even be some exclusive content. Anyways, I think that's about it. See ya.